Welcome to AdoramaXP, as it would be. We are playing some original Dungeons and Dragons here. So we've been coming back each time with we've been coming back each time playing different one shots. But for the next couple of sessions, I think we're going to play through a module. This is a classic module called Palace of the Silver Princess. This is a module that came out in about 1980. It's somewhat controversial because it was released, and for urban legend has many rumors as to why, but apparently it was released and then immediately pulled before it actually went out for distribution. So if you actually had a physical copy of this, not this copy I printed myself, it would be worth thousands upon thousands of dollars. But Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons now. They released this for free. You can download it online. They actually came out with another version of it, this one here, that was released in 1981, which is the green version. So we're going to play the orange version, the controversial version. Essentially, what's going to happen is we've got a group of characters who are heading into this ruined castle, a palace, that's in a land that was once quite fertile and beautiful, and that was thousands of years ago. And since then, the place has gone to ruin, and now people kind of pick it for the gold that might remain. So we've got some scavengers here, some adventurers, as they like to call themselves. They're going to go into this place and hopefully find some gold and not immediately be killed by the possibility of a dragon. So what I'm going to need for you guys helping in the chat is once in a while I'm going to, because if you've never played D&D or you don't know much about it, we're kind of creating the story as we go. So I will occasionally jump in here and ask you guys for some advice on what maybe we should do, some ideas of things going up, maybe give some hints of things that are about to happen to the players. Of course, they can't, when we're in this mode right here, they can't see or hear me, and I can hear them talking in the back. So, yeah, I see they aren't being quiet when they should be. So, in any case, welcome, guys. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what's going on. I'll be watching the chat as we go. I'm going to pop this out so I can, let's see, pop out chat. Where are we? Review. Pop out chat. There we go. All right, this way I can talk to you guys as we go. If you see any issues with sound or anything like that, let me know. Also, by the way, if you hit Virginia, okay. If you hit exclamation point, the letter D, and then 6, you can roll a die. So sometimes I'm going to ask you guys to roll a die for me. Oh, Scotland, welcome. Oh, nice, Houston. Don't mess with Texas, right? All right, so let's see what we can do. Right, here we go. I'll wait till they stop talking before I let them in. It's because random... Okay, I'm going to... Okay, so here we go. Okay, that's okay. It's not that we weren't interested in the particular honey that you have, Rush, but sorry. No, they were having a chat as always, scheming against me, the players, but that's all right. We'll get them in the end. We'll get you, my pretties. So. We are going to play Palace of the Silver Princess, which I kind of warned you guys of. We are playing the orange version, the controversial, pulled from the shelves, evil version, not the green version for the kids. So, this is essentially, as legend has it, about several thousand years ago, you imagine, because in the legend they speak of dwarves, and we know dwarves have been wiped from the face of the earth about 3,000 years ago. So about sometime in the past, these dwarves were working in this beautiful kingdom, and the princess there, who was, created this happy kingdom, and everybody was happy, and oh, butterflies and all sorts of stuff. They brought her this huge ruby the size of an apple. And the dwarves and the elves worked together, I know, it's weird, right? To present this to the princesses, the silver princesses they called her, because of her long silver hair, even though she was quite young. And she, this ruby, of course, is priceless. And unfortunately, shortly after the ruby was presented, there was a dragon rumored to be ridden by a man that came through the land and apparently brought destruction. So this is all in legend. There's little bits and pieces of it that you guys might know. I think Rush's character actually knows a little bit more than everybody else because I gave him the legend. But essentially, you have been traveling to these ruins. People have been picking this dry for as long as anybody can remember, but it always seems like when they come back, they've got new treasure. So apparently, there was an amazing amount of wealth in this palace, which is now, of course, just a burnt out ruin. It's quite dangerous, you would imagine, and you've traveled to some pretty tough lands to get here. There's a small group with you, besides the four of you. You've got a handful of retainers who are, with the horses and everything. They've set up camp maybe half a mile away or so from this ruin. And as the night fell and the morning broke, and you're looking out at this ruin of a keep or a palace, as it would be. So it's pretty large, although a lot of it is crumbled in. But you can see that even though the moat area is completely dried, there is still a bridge down, a drawbridge, and you can see a huge portcullis blocking the way. It is down, of course. Now, before we get into all that, though, let's have you guys intro your characters. Tell us a little bit about your character, who you are, if you want, and we will go from there. So I will start with Rush. Tell us about your character.
So I will be playing the best I can pronounce it is Carl. Carl is a warrior, having served many years as a soldier in the army of Prince Galantry. And rumor reached him that a fierce young woman who goes by the name of Aliega carries with her a magical sword cut from what is said to be a single ruby. It was after that I decided to give up my commission and seek adventure, searching for this woman and this sword. And while there are many who would believe that she might be a descendant of the Silver Princess, I do not believe that to be so. I believe her to be an imposter and not worthy of such a finely crafted weapon. Clearly, this weapon deserves to be in the hands of a worthy warrior. And so it is that I seek to find this magical weapon. And that is Carl, the warrior, who carries with him chainmails, sword, your basic accoutrement that you would expect.
Excellent. Traveling with Carl is Crystal's character. Tell us about your character, Crystal.
I am playing Awasi. She is a cleric of Hastur, who is the god of sheep herders. She has come out here seeking after a great cleric known by the name of Catherine Damus. It's said that he's a great man who heals the sick and defends the just, and he doesn't care for riches. He only cares about spiritual gain, and it sounds like to Awasi that's just the perfect person for her to tutelage under. So she's just been talking during all the travels about Catherine Damus and what a great man he is. And, if he's gone to this temple that holds treasure, it must be that he plans to give all this treasure to the poor and maybe make a temple to spread the message of Hastur, and she's going to be so glad to join him in doing so. And that is Awasi.
Awasi, yes, of course. Because there is only one, well, maybe two now, but only one true god of the land. Hastur, the god of sheep herders. Nikki, tell us about your character.
All right. I am Valera. I am an elf, and I'm not really much interested in gods of sheep or any other kind, really, foxes or whatnot. But I'm here for the power. I know that, it's rumored that some of this palace was destroyed by a magic user, mixing magical components, and that kind of power is something I'm very interested in as an elf. So I'll put up with the Wasi and their talking about gods all the time and love of sheep and Hastur in order to get this power. Yes, that's Valera. She is an elf.
Oh, an elf. Rare on the earth are the elves. And Dave, tell us about your character.
I am playing Johannes. He is a fighter, and not too much here. He has been he's searching for treasure, pretty straightforward. Just extremely valuable stuff. He's heard that there was some particularly valuable treasure here at the palace, and that's what he's here for. He's a plate armor, pole arm wielding fighter. Has a backup mace, like you normally would, I guess. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you know that we're playing old school D&D because somebody has to have a pole arm. There is no way you can play old school D&D without a pole arm. It's an essential part. So for those out of you that, here you go. So yeah, as noted, you guys are basically. Let me move this chat over here so I can see what I'm doing. You guys are standing in front of this palace. Most of it's knocked down. There is kind of like a deep gully where the moat clearly was, and it is kind of muddy and cracked. There's areas where there's puddles and stuff because maybe it's rained in the last few days, but it's certainly not filled anymore. The walls of the castle, although dirty and cracked and dingy, you can see that they're made of various types of marble. It probably cost a fortune to have this thing built when it was built, but of course it's been not maintained obviously for a long time. As far as on the other side of this drawbridge that's down, that's made of heavy wood plank, you can see again this is portcullis. It's all kind of rusty and iron. It is closed. It's about maybe 20 foot wide, so it's a pretty big one. And you can see that it kind of opens up into what is like a large hallway, about 20 foot. It spreads out. It starts at 20, spreads out to about 40 foot wide. It goes down about 60 feet. And you can see at the end there's a couple of passageways that are kind of now hard to see because of the darkness. But, you got the sun where you are and you're kind of looking into this place. So what do you guys want to do?
Just think, everyone, this is ground that Catherine Damus himself probably walked across.
Do you think he was the one who blew it up?
Well, I don't think that Catherine Damus would do such a thing. I mean, he's such a great man, unless there was a great evil here and he had no choice.
Maybe it was an accident.
I don't think Catherine Damus is the kind of man to make an accident.
Maybe it happened before he got here.
True. What do you think, Carl?
I do not know of such things. I typically don't make it my business to know, or to even pretend to know the minds of gods and deities and other such folk. Like, I speak with sword.
Well said. Well, how about you lead the way for us then, with your mighty sword?
Seems only proper. Which way do we go? Which way do you want me to lead you?
So if you move forward, I mean, across the drawbridge, which used to be the main way of egress, like I say, there's this giant portcullis blocking your way. You can move up to it if you like and look through.
Yeah, I'll start to move that way.
Yep.
Okay.
Go there.
Yeah. Surprisingly, maybe because of its age or apparent age based on the legend, the drawbridge is not at all rotted. It's actually quite strong. As you step across, your boots are kind of clanking on the kind of heavy, some kind of old wood, maybe oak that's kind of gone almost petrified because of the age. So it's almost like walking on stone as you kind of walk towards this thing, and you can see that The portcullis is one of those ones that, it's got the actual spikes of it go into the bridge. You can see it actually is into the bridge, and it goes up to the top. When you kind of move forward and look inside, having been one of the king's guards, you kind of understand how these things work. And you can see about 20 foot in on the right-hand side, there is what looks like it was probably some kind of wheelie system to pull the thing up. But normally it's attached to some kind of chain, and you can see that the chain is long since rusted and broke. So it doesn't look like you'd be able to wheel the thing. Well, you're not on the inside anyways, but even if you were on the inside, it doesn't look like you'd be able to wheel the thing up.
Does the portcullis look extremely heavy? Like it's a really solid portcullis? I mean, or is the like wear over the years?
Oh, I think it looks surprisingly new, right? Or well maintained.
No, the portcullis is actually pretty rusty. But it was a heavy. The bridge is pretty strong. The portcullis itself is rusted, but it is very thick. If you test certain areas of it, it looks like it would be hard to break. Like you couldn't just like crumble it off. You could likely lift it. Maybe it would take all of you, or unless you have some other ingenious way to open it. It would definitely take quite a few people to lift it, because you would imagine with this much iron, it probably weighs 700 to 800 pounds.
You said there was several like pieces of debris laying around as well.
On the inside, yeah, from the broken chains.
On the inside.
Yeah.
On the inside, of course.
Yeah, out here is pretty clean because you're kind of out in the open, so the wind and such is blown away anything else. Yeah.
You said it looks rather rusty, kind of thick. Do I think maybe I could use like my shepherd's crook to maybe get some leverage and break away some of this portcullis?
I mean, you could try to break it away. It would be very, very difficult. It might more likely break your crook.
Yeah, I was going to say you may end up being less one shepherd's crook if you did that.
Yeah.
I was looking for a piece of timber, but it's all on the inside, and I'm like, of course it's on the inside.
I mean, if you wanted like a piece of timber to use for that, you could go out. You could go back to where the forest is. You could certainly go back away from the place and get a piece of timber. Sure. There's wood line further back.
Well,
maybe we try lifting it.
I also brought a wooden stake and mallet. I just never know when we might need such a thing. Do you think that we could maybe chisel away some of these?
I mean, how thick is it with that?
I mean, you're looking at probably 3-inch metal, 3-inch iron.
A lot of chiseling.
Okay.
I have an idea. Let us walk back to the ridgeline, and we will look for a fallen branch, one that is nice and thick. And if we can, perhaps all of us lift it just enough, we can slide it underneath and let it sit as a brace to hold it up, and then we'll get upon our bellies and crawl underneath it. Or we can try to climb over it, but I'm not much for climbing.
It sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned about the climbing, I mean, just because you're thinking about it, when you look up, you can see above you about maybe you'd have to climb up probably about 60 foot up the wall. There is actually a balcony. It's quite overgrown with vines and such, but you can see the balcony. But it is about 60 feet up, and it would be a really hard climb, as mentioned, as the wall is made out of marble. So. But just so you know, heading back towards the wood line, you search around a little bit and you're able to find, some a tree that's kind of like a standing dead tree. So it's tough, but you can knock it down with some effort, and you bring it back to the portcullis. You should be able to lift it. It'll probably take about 20 points of strength to lift it. So depending on how strong you all are, I'm sure it's going to take at least 2 of you, but. Possibly 3.
Yeah, I got 16.
Oh, yeah. So he and I together should be able to lift it together.
Okay. Yes, I can watch. I am not
manage.
Very easily, the two fighters approach jam the lever in there and kind of wedge up the portcullis. You can hear it kind of like creaking, moving through its course. And as you kind of lift it up, it goes up a few inches, and then it kind of like stays a little bit. So it's not like it's constant pressure that you have to give. So you get it up probably like about 2-3 feet off the ground pretty easily. You could get underneath it at this point, unless you want to try to get it up higher. But that's probably as much as a lever will get you, based on your
As long as we can fit under it.
Yeah.
I can. I'm small and squirrely. I can kind of wiggle under there and see while you guys hold it up if you want. To see if there's anything more sturdy if you want.
While I'm holding it up, I'm just going to be like, can you make yourself useful and take the branch and stick it under there so we can turn this bastard loose, please?
Yeah, sure.
If it's not too much trouble, pointy ears.
For you, anything. 3 R's.
Thank you.
All right, so you're gonna wedge some other another piece of board underneath it so it stays up.
Yeah.
I'm not as strong as Johannes is, so I'm sitting there like, oh.
Once I get to the other side, if there's more stuff, I'll help shore it up a little bit if I can.
Yeah, you can see that there's some pieces of debris. It's mostly stone that's fallen from the ceiling. But you can maybe make a quick pile underneath it, so if it actually doesn't drop down when you let go of it because it's kind of staying in place. Although putting kind of a stone pile underneath it will maybe ensure that it'll stay.
It'll drop down as soon as you're crawling under it.
Exactly right. Yeah. So someone's been here before.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Yeah. So you're able to shore it up so that it doesn't fall on anybody. The chat's very sad that you're not going to have a porculus fall on you, but that's okay.
Don't worry. There'll be plenty of other opportunities for us to die.
Yeah, you got experienced players here. We got experienced players. Okay, so you move underneath. So as you're kind of shoring it up, and everybody kind of gets underneath, you're standing in a space. It's about 30 foot wide, and it goes down about 40-ish feet. It's kind of a large hallway. Like I said, this is probably where they would defend the keep. You look above you, and you can see that there's the remnants of like murder holes above you, about 20 foot up. Where they would drop, flaming oil on people, kind of, or stab them with spears or arrows or whatever. But ahead of you, you can see that essentially you can see that you're in a 30-foot wide corridor. When you get down to the end, on each side of it, you've got a passageway, each about 10 foot wide. So you've got like passageway, wall, passageway, all 10 feet wide in front of you. And when you move close to them, they're basically mirrors of each other. Essentially, one of them is, if you're on the one on the right-hand side, there's kind of like a little indent section. There's a small porculus in front of you and one to your right. And if you were on the other side, the left-hand side, there's one in front of you and to the left. So you've got basically 4 hallways you could go into, essentially 2 to the south, 1 to the east, 1 to the west. All of them are blocked by smaller porculus. But, obviously you kind of know how to bypass that at this point. Again, these are all rusty and stuff, but much smaller. Looking down the corridors, you don't see much. It looks like that they all run at least beyond the length of, what you can see with your eyes in here. It's getting dark anyways. If you pass by them, you'll likely need to have some kind of a light source.
I will light up my lantern.
Okay. At which point I will introduce the NPC. I've added an NPC, and no extra charge. As usual, you have forgotten that with you is your tireless henchman, Franco Lynn. He is a halfling. He's only about 2.5 feet tall, so easily forgotten. He carries a backpack and a whole bunch of empty sacks to fill with gold. So he looks at you and he says, should I carry the lantern? You realize that you might need both your hands to weave your magical spells, Valeria.
This is true. You can carry it. Just don't put it down.
Takes it in like both hands because he's only about 2 foot tall. He's like, why would I put it down? That would be dangerous. Somebody could take it.
Well, you never know.
That's
you
true.
are a halfling. You just never know what you'll do. Franco Lynn.
And he takes a lantern. So yeah, he shines the lantern down. You guys can see that the corridors to the west, so to basically the one that leads to the west, seems to be a bit damp, but you can see some reflection on the walls, like the walls get a little bit wet over there. Both passageways to the south, though, are dry, as is the one to the east.
Which way should we go?
I'm gonna go ahead and take some debris, rocks, and stuff, and put them next to each of the portcullis. So,
Okay.
So if we ever get trapped on the other side, then, we'll be able to reach those at least.
Oh, I see. Good idea.
Without having to go through.
All right. Excellent. Take the time to do that. You've got some rocks and stuff set up, so you've kind of got your contingency plans just in case these things close on you. Because, who knows? They might close. Which one would you like to explore, if any? It's been a long day of adventure. You could go back. You so far, you survived.
Well, let's stay dry. What do you think about the east passageway? Or the southern one? Right, those were the dry ones?
Right, you've got a passage basically to the east, to the south that's on the east side of the keep, we'll call it, and then there's one to the south on the west side of the keep.
Okay.
We're approaching from the north?
You are approaching from the north. Yeah. I'm going to say yes, because yes.
I say
yes, you are.
south.
Yeah, I was right.
The southeast
Southeast?
passage.
Okay.
That is one of the
Fair
dry ones, yes?
Yep.
Yes,
It is, yeah.
I prefer, particularly my feet. I cannot stand to have wet feet, so the dry passage would be, one of the two dry passages would be ideal. Which one we choose means little.
Southeast it is.
Okay. So, using the same technique, you're able to lift up that portcullis, and you shine the lantern down. You can see that the passage itself goes about, it goes 60 foot. So it's right at the edge of your light. It goes about 60 foot to the south, and then it looks like it turns to the east.
Are you leading the way, Carl?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be behind with my probably mace, because it's a low ceiling, right?
It's about 10 foot 10 squares. It's 10 foot, so it's tight for a pole arm for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you have a pike or something, maybe you could stab with it. But...
I'll have my mace out.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna head forward, Carl. You move to the south about 60 foot, and you kind of with the halfling in tow, shine the lantern. Franco Lynn shines it, the light down the passageway, and you can see that this eastern passageway goes about 60 foot, and then you can see that that's about as far as the light source goes. You can see that at that point, the hallway then turns to the north, so you're kind of doing a bank. Or it continues straight, but you can see that there's a beginning of a staircase there.
You said it turns.
Staircase.
Yep.
You said it either turns left or goes straight.
Goes
to
left.
the
Yep, left, or it goes straight to stairs, which are going down.
So I'll stop and turn back, and I say, well, we've reached the chance to go left or the chance to go down. What shall it be?
It'd probably be a good idea to clear this floor first, right?
Left.
Okay. So you want to walk down to that intersection?
Left it is.
Okay. So you move down to that intersection, and you can see, again, now you're here, you can see the stairs go down about 40 or so feet, and then you can actually see a glint of water at the bottom. But to the left, about 20 foot up on the right-hand side, which would be the east, is a door. But it continues past the door to a T-section corridor. So you can pretty much put together at this point that you've got, if you were to continue north there, you'd end up basically doing a square. But there is a doorway there if you want to explore it, or stairs going down.
Yeah, we could check out the door.
Yeah. I'll walk to the door, and since I am no shady thief, I will simply press my ear to the door, see if I hear anything on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of approach the door, and you kind of put your ear to it, and you actually feel on your your face, like the door is got condensation, and it's kind of a little bit slimy.
Ew.
So what's the temperature out here where we're standing?
It is not particularly warm. It's cool.
Mm.
Yeah. It's not cold, but it's cool. It's still the morning.
Is there like, what about underneath the door?
Right. Is it like dripping on the floor into a puddle, or?
Drafts of air.
Okay, yeah, so you get down low and you can, Johannes, you get down there and you can, you kind of looking, it seems like it's dark in there, so there's no light shining through. But there's a distinct kind of sweet smell coming from air that seems to be kind of coming under the door.
I'm gonna stick my head down there and see if I can notice if there's an air draft.
Not really. You don't really feel like a strong draft, but you definitely, there's definitely movement of air, but nothing that's like extreme.
So I look at Johannes and the others and I say, obviously the door is damp. You see this on windows in the tavern when it is cold outside and the fire warms the inside of the building. It's always wet on that side of the window, but I don't feel any cold air coming under the door, so this is strange.
Are we sure
The
it's water?
sweet smell is unusual.
Hearing Vera, I go to smell my hand, and does the actual condensation smell sweet?
No, and actually, it's not a puddle or anything, as you asked before. It's kind of, as you look at the door, where you kind of put your hand, you felt wet, it's almost like a very thin, kind of like mossy film. Like kind of like a plant, like a slimy plant that's growing on the door. In the lantern light, you can see it almost has a bit of a purpley color to it.
So I explain that to Vera.
I don't know if that's great.
Yes, a wet, dry place is a perfect place for molds and spores to grow. I don't think we should open that door, especially if there's a sweet smell.
Yeah, and here I offer you my water skin. I mean, it has wine in it, but you might want to wash your hands because that might not be good for you.
Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll also wash my cheek.
Yeah.
Hand sanitizer +2.
Yes.
Exactly.
+2 gets weird stuff in a dungeon.
Yeah, you can, with some wine, you're able to kind of clean off your hands, and the smell is not so strong. That in fact your hands just smell like wine now.
I mean, sorry about that, Carl, but
I didn't name myself.
No, I just think that purple mold growing on the inside of weird places, just not something you want on your face or your hands. So
Well, typically molds are of the forest. That's where I see them mostly, and so are you, so I defer to your expertise.
well, shall we? If we don't want to open the door, do we want to head back to the stairs, or?
Yep, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Well, we could continue. I mean, like I know it looks like it'll loop around, but there could be another door or something on the other side.
I thought the only options we had were down the stairs or down this hallway to the door, or was I misunderstanding?
The door is on the side. You can continue to go straight. Well, what I had mentioned was that you realize that if you were to go up here, it looks like you'd be going back the same way. But certainly you could walk up and check. It's not that far. If you travel up another 10, 15 feet, you do in fact see that it's a T intersection. And if you were to go to the left here, you'd go back to that other portcullis that was going east, basically, from when you first started. Or the hallway continues to the east, and this hallway is very damp.
Well, I
So
think
now
we already.
you're at a T intersection, right? You got Left, basically west, going back to where you started, essentially. Right would be east, going into like dampness. Quite damp.
I think we discussed we don't want to go through damp places.
Yeah, going to the right, to the east. That's the same area that where the door was, right?
I mean, it's the same direction, but the door is further south.
Yeah.
Let me start again. So just so it's clear, you guys came and you went to the left. You walked up about 20 feet. There was a door on your right. That's the wet door. Then if you continue north, there's a passageway going to the east that's also damp. Also to your right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The door and this passageway are both the same direction.
They are.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
Can't put anything past you guys.
And so I look back at the others and I'm like, if you wish to avoid whatever that is, we should probably just not go this way and go back for the stairs.
I agree.
Stairs.
Okay.
Stairs it is.
If you turn back south, which again not very far, and you were to continue to the east to the stairs that go down, you start making your way down the staircase. It's about, you're descending about what you equivalent about maybe 2 stories. And as you get close to the bottom of the staircase, you can see that this room, it opens up into a room that seems like it's unfinished. Basically, you've got you're coming down these like perfectly marble hallways, and then it only goes about 10 foot. And then it seems to like open up into a room, and all this side where you are is perfectly, sculpted marble. And then the room itself, it looks like it's more cut from raw rock. And in the far side of the room, it's not a huge room, it's maybe 20 foot, you see there is a pool there. There's a pool of water. And you can actually softly hear the sounds of water moving, like a babbling brook.
Well, at least we know it's actual water this time. And he chuckles to himself.
Maybe.
Yeah, the water looks, I mean, from what you can tell from their lantern, it looks like the water's clear, although there is the floor of this place. It looks like it's kind of red, and all the walls are this kind of reddish stone, so it almost looks like it's like flaked away to create almost like sand all over the ground. And it does have a little bit of a smell, which I guess the magic user would know is probably like a sulfury smell.
Okay.
Yeah. So it stinks.
Yes.
It's sulfur.
Does there appear to be anything beyond the pool? Like, does the pool
yeah.
go wall to wall?
No, actually, as you're kind of looking in, you can see that there is an area, probably 3 or 4 foot wide, that you could walk around the pool of this kind of, we'll call it red sand. And if you were to do that, then it looks like the passageway continues off to the, what would be the southeast. It looks like it slopes down, actually, and then this pool is kind of settled here, and you can see there's like a rivulet kind of coming off it, going down in that direction, but you certainly could walk that way as well, following the water.
So, if that's what we're gonna do, we follow around to the other passage? Then.
Mm.
Well, what are the dangers of this sulfur? Are there any immediate threats?
I don't know. It just smells like stinky rock to me.
I mean, it's not fabulous to breathe it. It should be okay. Just don't drink the water. I mean, would I know anything else about it, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, you're a wizard. You know that's this type of rock, the sulfur rock, is used in some magical concoctions. It's not particularly hazardous, as far as you know.
Right. So I'll say that, and I'll say, just as always, use caution and don't drink the water and don't eat the sand. You should be okay if you don't do those things.
Right. Without access to the anarchist handbook, you don't know what to do.
Yeah,
right.
Paul
Yeah.
just kind of glances around at everybody and it says, "Don't eat the sand." I feel like this is good advice, regardless of whether the room smells like my Uncle Virgil after dinner.
Well, you never know.
Wait, dwarves don't eat sand?
I'm not a dwarf and wouldn't know.
Oh,
Never even seen a dwarf because they've been They are
Extinct
creatures
for
of
3,000 years.
yes. They're creatures of
yeah.
mystery. Perhaps they did eat sand, and that is why they are no longer around.
True.
So there is a lesson to be learned here.
Yes.
You, wee man, and he motions to the guy with the lantern. And he says, "Come."
Yep.
And as we start making our way around on that piece of red sand, I'm gonna have him. I was like, hold it out over the water, so that I can see
Okay.
into the pool. And as we make our way around, I want to be like looking in where I'm going, but also looking in the water just to see if I see anything.
Be careful, don't get your feet wet.
Yes.
You could see a couple of things. Number one, as you're getting close to the water, you realize that it actually feels a little bit warmer. Like the water is kind of letting off some heat. Not like it's boiling, but it's definitely letting off some heat. Number two, there are some very, very small fish swimming around in there. And you can clearly see that it seems like it's coming from the north, from some unknown source, like probably for deeper in the pool. And it's being fed into the space, and then it's going to the south and down that passageway.
I point out the small fish and I say, well, at least we know it's not completely poisonous. It may not be necessarily good for you, but if the fish live in it, then more than likely, it won't kill us. I hope.
And we know that the water is not a semi-sentient being in its own right, so... Or the fish would be dissolved.
We hope.
Yes, I say we continue on around and through.
So many things they know.
Yeah,
We're weathered adventurers.
Yes.
you guys are.
I don't
Yeah.
put anything past those finger wiggling magicians, though.
Yes, exactly.
We know it's safe.
Oh yeah.
And they're always gonna think that they know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I was very careful to say we hope.
I'm going. Yeah, we should just test it out. Just because. So I'll take my dagger and I'll just put it into the water just to make sure it doesn't dissolve or anything weird.
You elves can't just leave well enough alone.
Why on earth would I leave well enough alone?
Well, we should be okay. Quick, stab the water.
So what you're saying is you're attacking the water. No. So you take
No, I just want to make sure that it's, in case we do accidentally
I
fall in.
attack the pool of water. Yeah, no.
Slip
Yes,
or-
you take your dagger and you stick it into the water. Near the shore where do you want to penetrate the sand as well, or are you just gonna put it in the water itself?
Yep,
Okay, yeah. So you
both.
stick it in near the shore. I mean, as soon as you break the surface of the water, the fish, of course, scatter. You stick it into the sand. It feels actually like over time, this has built up a lot of this sand, so it's fairly deep. I mean, I don't know if you want to jam the whole dagger in there, but we'll say you stick it in a couple inches, and it's definitely several inches deep, this sand. The water doesn't seem to be affected by the dagger, nor does the dagger seem to be affected by the water. Except that now you're that close to it, you can definitely tell the water is warm.
Okay. Okay, and I will tell that to the rest of the party and say the water is warm. So somewhere there is either a sulfurous spring or something like that with the smell. Gotta be. I mean, I don't want to assume I know everything, but I think that that's probably the case. So let's continue. I think we'll be okay if something happens and we fall in.
Sure you will.
Sounds good. We should look for this sulfur spring later. Maybe have a nice hot bath.
Yes, it'll be a reward for all the treasure we find, right, Franklin? With his
Oh,
sack
that's right.
waiting for gold.
Yeah, that's right. He's got all his sacks. He kind of tapped the sacks. He almost puts the lantern down so he can do it, but then he doesn't. And he holds it back up. The lantern's probably like about 16 inches tall, and he's only about 2.5 feet tall, so he's holding the lantern like this. He shines it down. If you were to follow the little stream, it doesn't go very far before it comes to what is clearly a collapse. The water continues to run through it, but you can see that it kind of drains out into this area, and it looks like that the whatever cave was here is collapsed. You would imagine that with tools and time, you could probably dig it out. Perhaps there's more levels below this, but at this point, access to this would be incredibly difficult.
A dead end.
Yeah.
For now. Well, I suppose we should go back the other way. It's obvious that Catherine Damus didn't come this way.
Unless he's buried under all that rubble.
Don't you dare say such a thing.
You know,
Catherine Damus is such a wise man. He would never allow himself to be buried under rubble like a common peasant or something.
perhaps not.
Of course.
Well, I suppose we have to go back. There's no way to get through.
What is that?
Unless
Do you want to go?
you're not. Are you,
Oh,
Johannes?
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just asking Johannes if he thinks he's strong enough to hack his way through.
Through a collapse, we could possibly do it, but it would take a long time to clear this space. I think it might be wise to turn around. As far as I can tell, it seems like a dead end.
Okay.
Right. Well, let's
Okay.
head back to the entrance.
All right. Do you want to go back the way you came? Like exactly the way you came? Or do you want to go up to that moist hallway and walk that way?
I think the same way we came.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. That worked out well. So you walk back to the west, about up that set of stairs. You pass that right-hand turn with the moss covered door. Maybe just your face feels a little bit itchy, Carl. But it's probably nothing. And you kind of you head to that corner where you would turn north to head back to the original place. But as you're walking by, Valeria. Am I saying your name right? Yeah, Valeria, the elf, who gets to see stuff because she's an elf. You notice that there is a very, very oddly perfect crack in the southern wall of that corner. And as you kind of look at it, you can see that it seems like there's actually two of them, and they're about 3 feet apart. And then further you look up, and about 5 foot up, you see another going across. So you've got basically a rectangle.
Oh. I will say, Awasi, look at this strangely, perfectly rectangle-shaped crack.
Oh, I didn't
Looks
think
a
that
little
until
bit-
you pointed it out.
I just noticed it myself. And it could be door-shaped?
I believe so. Well, would you like to push on it and see if it opens?
No, I would not like to, but one of our fiery types might like to.
I'll do it.
I mean, I'll look at it. Does it appear? I mean, I can't check for traps, but does it look? Are there any
Sure you
weird
can. You want to
holes?
look for a
or,
trap? Okay.
yeah. Before he does that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as you can tell, you're looking at it now and you're imagining maybe this is some kind of a door because of its shape. There doesn't need to be any handle or anything on it, but you think possibly that you could push on it. So you're looking for anything that maybe, like, if you start to push it, you'll see it sets off some kind of a trigger, like maybe a pressure plate or something, and you don't see anything like that. It looks
Okay.
it looks pretty harmless.
Have at it, Johannes.
Yep. I'm gonna try pushing on the door itself.
Okay. And you have what, 16 strength?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're able to do that. So you put your shoulder into it a little bit. At first you're kind of like, you could feel it move a little bit, so you put a little weight into it. You push it and you actually feel the door slide in about, it's about a foot or so thick. So it's a pretty thick piece of marble. It kind of slides in and then you can feel it stop. But at that point you can feel that you could slide it to one side just by kind of, it's marble, so it's slippery. So you can kind of maybe lick your hands or whatever. You slide it to the side and you can see that you're looking down into a short corridor. It's only about 20 feet long. However, immediately on your right-hand side, there is a door. And At the end of this corridor on the left-hand side is a tunnel going to the east. So you've got a door to the west and a passageway to the east.
Does it
Door
smell in
first?
here at all?
You get a bit of a smell of rot,
Okay.
but not so much that you notice it immediately until you actually sniff it. But it's not super strong, and it is an old place.
Right. Okay. Yes, I think door first. Yeah.
Okay. This door you notice is a little bit small, much like the secret passage. I mean, for the elf, it probably feels fine, but it's only about 5 foot tall, by about 3 foot wide. But it has a little handle on it, and you're able to kind of push it in. And when you do, you see it opens up into a very short passageway, we'll call it. It's only about 10 feet long, but it is narrow and small. But you see at the end of it, you can just see with your light kind of shining, you can see basically the mirror of what you saw to come through. Basically, you're seeing the backside of a secret door.
Oh. Okay. Do we want to explore further the other way, or do we want to try this one?
Well, we're on the opposite side of the secret door, and the secret door is usually what leads to the treasure, right?
So,
In all the stories.
yeah.
And I'm sure Catherine Damus is a wise enough man to have figured out this secret door, so he may be further ahead in this tunnel.
Logic would say the secret door was there to hide a secret, so
Indeed.
I'm for it if you are.
Yep, down the passage we go.
Down the passage.
Okay. Yes, you move down to the south a bit, and then you turn to the east. It's not very long again, since this is a small area in here. It's only about 40 foot total. At the end of this corridor, on the right-hand side, which would be the southern wall, there is a door. A full-size normal door. Otherwise, you don't see any other way to go.
We'll check the door again the same way.
Okay. This door is dry and heavy. In fact, it's really dry. Like when you you touch it, like it's almost like, it's not quite like yeah, I guess it's dusty is the best way to describe it. I'll use a simple way to describe it. It's dusty. But this whole corridor is dusty. Like nothing's been down here in a long, long time.
Oh,
It is a
Signs
dry,
of-
very solid. Yeah.
signs of a good treasure,
Yes.
undisturbed.
So you can't hear anything on the other side of the door or anything like that?
You hear only your heartbeat. Through your ear. Yeah. No, it's quiet.
I check the door to see if it's locked.
There's no lock on the door, so you grab the handle, assuming you'll be able to open it, and it's as best as you can tell, it is barred from the inside.
What's this door made out of?
Oak.
Heavy door. I glance down at the axe that hangs on my side, and then I look at Johannes. You can always use a master key.
This is true.
It's not very quiet, but
Well, we can keep watch while you do that if you want.
Yep.
All right,
okay, sounds like we're
hacking away at this thing.
chucking away the door. Yep. So I'll sheath my sword and pull out my big hand axe, and I start working away at the door. What I want to try and do is cut a hole. Like if the door is barred, typically doors are barred right around the same place, which is right where the handle mechanism would be. So I try and go a couple inches above that and just see if I can hack a slot that I can just maybe reach in and grab the bar and pull it off. maybe we'll start that way.
Definitely. Sure, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, you start hacking at the door. You know, I mean, you have an axe because nobody's disturbing you. Doesn't take very long, but you are able to do exactly that. You chop away, you know, enough of the wood, and you kind of push it through, and you hear it clatter on the inside, and you can reach your hand inside, and you can feel the bar in there. Yeah.
So I pull the bar and drop it, and then
Unfortunately, you are surprised by as you pull the bar and drop it on the floor, something grabs your arm. I mean, it's only your arm. So,
I got him right-handed.
So they're gonna actually. I mean, you're wearing chain armor, which is what, heavy foot. So the way this is going to work now is they're actually attacking as heavy foot as well. So, you know, I mean, there's only so many that can hack a hand, right? So I'll say two. Two of them are going to try to hack at your hand with their weapons. So they are going to heavy foot against heavy foot. So what that means is they're going to get 1 die per man and a 6 hits. Something grappling onto your hand. So I'm only going to roll 2 6-sided dice here, and if they happen to be both 6s, then you're basically going to have your hand ripped off. So, should we have the chat do that? I think that's probably a good idea.
I think so.
I think the chat would like to do that. So,
come get me, bro.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, man, Tyler. Oh, see? You should be happy Tyler just saved you. By being terrible because he rolled too low. All right, so something you feel the gush of wind go by and the sound of steel hit the door as something swings wildly at your hand. As you pull it out, you hear ching ching ching. The door is free now, of course, and it goes in. It would open in, of course, because that's the way it's barred. But
okay.
Yeah, what does everybody want to do? So we are now entering into combat. There's something on the other side of the door.
Carl is going to swap weapons to his longsword, and he's going to turn to everybody and say, "There's something on the other side that tried to take my arm off."
Oh boy!
And I get ready to throw myself against the door, and I say, "Get ready, Your Highness."
Okay, so you're going to smash the door open and try to knock things down on the other side or whatever?
Yeah, I'm hoping they're standing right there.
Oh, they are.
I'm just going to be like, boom, knock the door open.
Nice. How about our cleric, Awazi?
Awasi is going to have her shepherd's crook. She's going to just stand back a little bit and let the fighters do their thing for now.
Okay. How about the elf?
Yep. I will
Sylvia.
draw my dagger and back up a little bit.
Cerulean. No, Verillian. I'll get it.
Valera.
I don't have a monitor. I can't see Valeria. I don't have anybody's information because my other monitor is now over here. Clearly, I need to move with the cameras. Okay, so... And finally, Dave, what does Johannes want to do?
Yeah, I'm right behind Carl, and I'm going to prep my mace because I think the corridor is too small for my polearm. So
That is probably true.
And I will call to the little halfling to, bravely aim the lantern through the doorway.
Yeah, he's down, shining it underneath between your legs. All right, somebody in the chat roll me a d6 so we can get an initiative for the enemy. And one of you guys, I guess, since you're busting the door open, Rush, will have you roll a d6. Just a straight d6 initiative roll. Ooh, they got a 6. That's not good for you guys.
No, especially when I rolled a 2, so they're definitely going first.
All right, they're not first. It only really matters
Good
for
job,
the movement.
Chet.
Yeah, it only actually matters for the movement, which means that what's going to end up happening is both sides declare action, then movement happens. So the creatures behind the door move back away from the door, preparing themselves for your assault, so that when you smash through the door, effectively you won't actually get an attack for that. I was going to give you an attack to smash them, but they moved back. So you smash through the door, and you can see as the light shines in there, there's about a dozen or so skeletons. They're wielding rusty swords. One of them, they've got ragged clothes, but they look like they were kind of fine nobility type clothes maybe at some point. But one is wearing around their neck a huge gold chain with a sundial on it. It's like the Flavor Flav of D&D treasures. So there's a dozen
You
skeletons.
beat me to it. If he comes running out there going, yeah, boy, I'm gonna just die.
Okay, so you weren't going to do a spell, right, Valeria? You were attacking melee as well.
Yeah, I have
all
idea.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go into melee. So yeah, you smash the door. That's basically what you're going to do. So our fighter can go. Dave, go ahead and make your attack. So the skeletons are just Lightfoot. So you are with a mace, right? With his heavy foot.
Yep.
So heavy foot attacking Lightfoot, you get 1 die per man, 5 or 6 hits, and in this case it will kill because they only have 1 hit die. So because you are 2 men plus 1, you're going to roll 2 dice, and you can add 1 to one of those 2 dice to get it up into the spot that you need it to be, I guess. So 2 dice, 5 or 6 kills.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I got a 5 and a 2.
Oh, okay. Well, the extra die is not going to help the thing, but you smash through one skeleton and it falls to the ground in pieces. Valerian, you've got Lightfoot right with a dagger. A Lightfoot against Heavyfoot, you've got 1 die per 2 men, 6 hits, but you're only 1 plus 1 man, right? So yeah, we'll give you 1 die, but you won't get the +1 on it. And a 6 will hit, we'll say.
Okay. Nope, I rolled a 4.
Okay. So you dive forward with that. Now, Awazi, you see that there are 11 skeletons still standing here. And of course, you're a cleric. So is this something you want to do as a cleric?
Yes, I will hold up my holy symbol of Hester. It is wooden. I carved it myself. And I will say, it looks sort of like a sheep.
Nice.
Yep. And I will hold up and I will say, in the name of Hester, be turned away. Bah!
Nice. Okay, so what's your skeleton turn?
It's just a T.
Oh, all right. So you automatically will turn 2d6 of the skeletons. So go ahead and roll 2d6. See how many skeletons retreat from your...
8.
8. All right. Well, there was only 11 left. So, because technically magic, which is what this would be, happens before melee. I just skipped over you, unfortunately. So this will happen before they get to attack, which the remaining 3 will do now. So, I want to put... They're all just going to go after one person because they're skeletons. I'm just going to roll. Actually, the chat, roll me a d6. Even they're going to go after the magic user. Odd, they're going after the Dave's fighter.
Ideally against me.
Yes, hey, that's what we want, right? What did I say? Even for the magic user, right? So they're going after the fighter. Yep. Okay.
I defend his armored foot.
Nice. Armored foot. And they've got 3. So there are 3 of them. They are heavy foot against armored foot. So they're doing 1 die per 2 men, a 6 hits. So they're just going to get to roll 1 die, which means it's impossible for them to kill you. But what the hell? I'll roll it anyways. They didn't hit. Okay. So yeah, they come charging forward and tell me how your heavily armored self just swats off 3 skeletons.
Mace in hand, just kind of waves it in the air. Seemingly by mistake, blocking all sorts of attacks, and then for the third one, he just kind of stands there and absorbs the attack with his chest.
Clinks off your armor, really nice. All right, I mean, at this point, there's 3 skeletons left that can fight, and they have no chance of beating the party, so go ahead, Rush, since you didn't get to attack. Just explain how your character now eliminates these 3 skeletons that have charged past you.
Yeah. So as they charge past me, and I see Johannes utilize his demonstrate that the good old attitude adjuster even works on the undead. As he gleans off several of them, the three left, he just kind of steps in behind and just, 1, 2, 3, because they're not even paying him any mind at this point. And he just lops their what's left of their spines, and just chinks their head right off onto the floor.
Awesome. Yeah, so you smash through the three skeletons and they drop. The battered skulls hit the ground. You hear the thunking sounds. You can see now in the light of the room, in the corner, there's 8 skeletons all kind of huddled together. They're kind of like fearful of Hastor's sheepiness. And they're kind of like, not the wool, not the wool. So obviously in order to keep them turned, you have to stay holding the holy symbol. But the rest of the party can see in the light shown by the halfling's lantern that it looks like that whoever was in here that eventually became skeletons was trying to hole up from something. It looks like you can see like crates that appear to be like supplies. You see barrels that were likely water or wine barrels. And you can see different bedding and stuff. At this point, it's all kind of dry rotted, and looks like it's all kind of just a mess. Like it's almost like it was a shelter, like a holdout shelter for something, and they clearly never left alive.
I want to take this moment and, if I may, pull out my polearm and give a good sweep across at the crowd of skeletons.
Nice.
To try to cleanse the place a little bit.
Yeah, so you get
Skeletons.
the polearm and you just, and all the bones just fall to the ground and in dust. And you feel a weight lifted off the room. The evil is cleansed. And of course, that giant gold chain with the sundial on it falls to the ground. And you hear somewhere, off in the distance, "Yeah, boy."
Yes. So I'm going to retrieve that item and pick it up, and I look over toward I forget the halfling's name.
You turn to that is
Franco Lynn.
Franco.
It couldn't be better timing. You turn towards Franco Lynn to say something, and as you do, he's standing there with the lantern. The door slams shut behind you.
Oh.
And you are in the dark, although you see light where the hole was.
Yeah. So I turn and I say, Franco, would you be so kind as to place this in your? And then boom, there goes the door, and he turns the word sack and just draws it out. And he's like, insert curse word here. So he immediately takes that thing and he sticks it in the pouch that he has in his own belt, because now he can't see Frank. Wait a minute, doesn't Franco have a lantern lit the whole time?
Yeah, he's got the lantern out in the hallway, so you just basically see him. He's only 2.5 feet tall, and you made a hole about 3 foot tall. You see like just the fingers like holding the lantern, trying to shine it in there, and he's like, guys, I'm in the hallway by myself, guys.
Oh,
guys.
Okay. I miss it. Oh yeah. So I was over there. I pulled the door.
Everyone we went into the room except for Franco.
I got you. I'm gonna go pull the door open for Franco, and I just.
All right, it's pretty stuck.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I go try the door, and when it doesn't move, I look over at Johannes, and I'm like, Johannes, you wanna give me a hand?
Well, it's we may have to take this door down completely.
Well, let's try to open it first. I don't want to leave my little buddy out there too long.
All right, somebody in chat give me a D6 roll to see if any wandering monsters come while the halflings in the hallway by themselves.
Oh no!
If
only we had somebody with a crossbow.
Oh, poor Franco. I don't have. I got a short bow, but yeah, that's it.
I have a longbow. There's no way that'll work in here.
No.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just skip ahead. So you guys are nothing's come, so you didn't have to worry about your weapons at this point. You hack away with it enough of the door with the axe, you can kind of crawl out of it. For some reason, it still feels very stuck. So you basically have to bust a hole through the door and kind of break your way He's sitting there in the corner. He's got a sling with like one stone in it and a lantern, and he's kind of like, but nothing comes. And he says, did you get any treasure? I got the lantern.
Yes. So I give him I said, I got this this giant gold necklace, Franco.
Oh,
And
man. Do you know what time it is?
I pat him on his head.
Unfortunately, there's no sun.
Yes, I know. And I tell him, I say, but come here, my good man, and shine your lantern through the door. And I want to see what else the rest of this room looks like inside.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of holds it up as high as he can so you can see.
Time it is.
It's like barely over the top of the door. It looks like they probably set up several like pallets for people to sleep. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of people in here. You can see that there are some weapons and such, but they're rusted over time. So clearly the whoever's in here or wasn't here has been in here for a long time. Nothing else of value really seems to be in the room. Although, I mean, it's a good place to hold up, I guess, if you don't mind being trapped forever.
Yeah.
Awasi is going to take one of her. She has 3 vials of holy water, and she has a holy water sprinkler. So she's going to use one of those vials of holy water, if everyone's okay with it, and sprinkle it over the room and say a prayer.
Just a prayer of Wolf going.
You're gonna... All right, so you're in there sprinkling. Cleansing the room of any
Every day I'm sprinkling.
any stink of evil and taint. And actually, when you finish sprinkling, the door just slightly opens up and it can be released. You feel like you've definitely destroyed whatever evil was holding the room.
Ah, good.
Nice.
It seems that the spirits are at rest. Finally.
Good work, Awasi.
Well, praise that store, of course.
Yeah. Praise to Hestor and all that.
Yep.
Elves don't. Yeah.
It was mutton.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn this thing so I can see it.
All right. Well, we killed a bunch of skeletons, and all we have to show for it is this lousy necklace. Or 2 next.
Yeah, this necklace is looks to be quite valuable. At about, you think you'll get about 1,400 gold pieces for it.
Oh,
Wow.
I do know what time it is then.
Yeah.
Regardless of the sun.
Exactly. Yeah, well, that's, they do keep the good stuff behind the secret doors. So that wasn't a bad seal.
It was not a lie.
So there is that other secret door. We could try going through the back of, and to see what passage that leads to.
As soon as Johanna says that, I hand him the axe and I say, "This time it's your turn."
Well,
I've got a mace.
You can't chop wood with a mace, my friend.
Not with that attitude.
I could try.
Yeah, not with that attitude, you can't.
Well, so you want to go back? Somebody in the chat roll me a d6. You're going to go back the way you came to that other secret door that you were kind of at the back of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found valuable, but not powerful. Not yet. And I'm looking for powerful.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah, so you move up to it. And I mean, you realize when you get up to it, you have to kind of crunch in to get in there, Johannes, but you don't have to. I mean, you can smash it if you want. It looks like it's made out of marble, and you would just slide it out of the way like the one you came through before.
Yep, I'll do that.
Yeah. So you like it comes in, obviously. So you kind of like, there's like a little like a handle on the back of it. You pull it in and it slides to the side. And you're looking out into a hallway. You can see, your torch, well, the lantern from the back. Franco is, shining it. And you can see that there's a hallway that runs north and south. It's 10 foot by 10 foot, standard kind of hallway. You can't see much until you kind of get out into it, because obviously you don't have the lantern with you unless you want to take it. He's in the back. But you can see it goes north and south.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say. Yeah, there's a passageway here. Standard looking. going north and south. Directions either way. So we could. This seems like a good place to go. And I'll ask for Franco to follow me through.
Yeah, he steps through and shines the lantern. You can see that it, as noted, it goes north and south. About just at the edge of the lantern light to the north, you see a portcullis. And I guess actually, as you're kind of staring down there, you can kind of see just the hints of daylight, as you would realize that that's probably the other southern passageway. Southern from where you were before. So if you were going to go to the right, aka north, you'd end up back at the entrance. However, if you continue south, the lantern shines about 60 foot down, and you can see that does not stretch the entire length of the hallway. Like the hallway goes further than that.
Oh. South seems good. For me, what about you guys?
One way is good as another at this point, sure.
Yep, sounds good.
I seek only the red sword. I leave the directions to those who more studious than I.
Okay, so who's leading the way? Johannes?
I'll lead the way.
Okay. Yeah, so you're approaching. You're going to the south. You can see, again, the lantern light shines out about 60 feet in front of you. So when you're about 60 foot away from it, you can see that the passageway continues to the south, but there's also a branch that seems to go to your left, which is the east. So you continue, as you kind of approach that intersection, you can see that it goes. There is a passageway coming up, I should say, that goes that way. Now, as you get to
that kind of goes back towards where we were, in a sense, right?
In a sense, yeah, exactly. It's further south, obviously, than where you were by about 100 foot, but yes. The left-hand passageway. Otherwise, if you continue to go south, then, that'd be all new unexplored area. But as you approach that intersection to kind of explore it a little bit more, though, you step on a loose floorboard, which actually opens up a pit trap. And you fall in a pit.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, go ahead and we'll say roll 2d6, try to beat a 7, or you're going to snap your pole arm when you fall down there.
Oh, no.
Because it's so long.
Okay. Yeah,
2d6 add together, try to beat a 7. So 8 or better. Perfect.
2 4.
Yep. All right, so you somehow don't, do the reaction that most people would do and shove their pole arm sideways so they don't fall. You just take it because you're like, no, my pole arm. And you go down. It's not very far. It's like a 10-foot pit. You kind of clap down at the bottom. The halfling behind you stops. And as does everybody
don't follow.
else. Yeah. But with a all kinds of weird stuff's happening here. With a hand from the others, you could certainly get up. So at this point, you're standing kind of in an intersection. Well, you're in the pit, but you're basically in an intersection. You could, by kind of circumventing it, you could go to the east, as noted. The passageway goes down further than your lantern light will show. Or you could continue past this pit to the south. You realize that if you were to do that, it only goes about 30 more feet, and then directly across from you would be a door, which is closed. But also, that's a T intersection of a hallway. So essentially, if you go south, you've got east-west corridors and a door to the south. And if you went east, you just have east. A corridor, basically. So lots of options. If that made sense.
Are you all right, Johannes?
Right, if you care, and also if you care about Johannes.
Yeah.
Oh,
His
yeah.
pole arm is still
I'm
sticking up.
fine.
Lassie will stick her crook down there so he'll have something to grab onto and climb up. Her shepherd's crook.
The pit was not as deep as his pole arm, so he went down, and you still see the pole arm sticking up. He's like, all right.
At least you knew that it was not a far drop.
Right. How deep is it? Not quite one pole arm.
Nice.
A unit of measurement.
Exactly.
Honestly, we just need to pick away at this point.
Yeah, nothing seems at this point. And just so you know, everything seems kind of the same, right? It's basically kind of standard marble corridors, as described, 10 by 10. Nothing really stands out as different. except for the fact there's a door in one direction.
Yeah.
If you like those kind of things.
I think that direction seems pretty good. To try that door.
I think you're right.
Cool. All
This
right.
is another door to put our ear to. And
All right.
Get our arms chopped off.
Right.
yeah,
Or mold all over us.
Yes.
if something bad happens at this door, then we may want to stay clear of doors from here on out.
Agreed.
Doors, they're a bad thing. Yeah, so you moved down to that intersection. You can see that you're at a door, which is again a nice heavy oak door, the iron bound, to the south, which you can listen at. But just so you know, to your left and right, so to the east, you've got a corridor that goes more than 60 feet. So it's just a straight corridor from what you can tell. To the west, though, the corridor only goes about 30 foot, and then there's actually like an archway. So it's kind of like a fancy like intersection. And it does continue west after that, but it also has a way to go south. So you can see that you've got some options after you listen at this door, which I will roll for. It sounds quiet on the other side of the door.
Yeah. I'm gonna try opening the door.
Sure, yeah, it opens right up. So you open this door up. It is a 20-foot east to west by 30-foot north-south room. There is besides the door you're coming in from, on the northern part of the room, there is a door on the east wall. It is closed. Otherwise, the room is empty. However, it's weirdly empty. Like, it's not full of rubble. It's not full of dust and debris. It's empty, like swept clean empty. So that immediately sticks out, being in a ruin.
Interesting. Clean room.
Yeah, like sanitized.
You see the Microsoft guys dance by. No, Intel, right? It was Intel with the good.
Yeah.
Can I ask, can I ask Franco Lynn for one of his sling stones? We could like throw a stone in there. And
Sure.
it's so empty, it makes me suspicious. Or if there's any debris on the floors, or
No,
I mean, pick up and throw.
It's relatively clean in the hallways too, but yeah, if you ask Franco Lynn, he says, "Be careful, those in glass houses and all that," and then he hands you a stone.
I'll try to be careful. And I just kind of want to toss it across the room and just.
Are you trying to hit the wall on the other side, or you want to toss it like into the middle of the room, or the door? Like, what are you targeting?
Other side of the room. The other. Oh,
Okay.
As far as I can across.
Oh yeah, you can. It's about 35. I mean, you can toss a stone that far. So you hurl the sling stone across the room, and it cracks off the marble wall and bounces on the floor and kind of rolls back a bit to you. And everybody waits with bated breath, but nothing seems to have reacted to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna try closing the door and then opening it again.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, you close the door. You open it again. The stone is gone. It's another what you're looking for, right? Yeah.
Magics.
I know what Dave thinks.
Wily wizards, let me tell you.
Well, so it's some sort of teleportation room, maybe,
Or death chamber.
or tomato.
Yes.
Or maybe it's a room just for cleaning itself. I mean, who knows how these magic types think?
Yes, but if it cleans itself by dissolving the stuff that's in there, we don't want to be in there when it does that. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you do. I don't know what Hestor likes, but I don't want to. So
No, I don't think Hastor would like that.
I
okay.
know what Hastor likes.
We could try wedging this door open and opening the other door in there.
Okay.
Oh yes, I have a mallet and a wooden stake I can use to wedge this door open.
Yeah, we can do that. I also would feel more comfortable if somebody was actually here, like making sure it doesn't shut
Mhm.
in some sort of
And not
magical.
Franco
And not
then
just
looks at you.
Franco.
Yeah, no.
Not just Franco in the hallway by himself.
Right, exactly. So maybe if Carl doesn't mind staying, or one of the stronger people, just to make sure.
I will do it if you ask. Yes.
And then we can check the other door.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna this door, because it opens out into the hallway. You're gonna pull it back and put a wooden stake and bang it in so it stays, and then Carl's gonna lean against it or whatever to make sure it doesn't close. And then the rest of the party is gonna go into the room and open the other door.
Yeah.
Well, I am. I don't know if anyone
Okay.
else is gonna
Yeah.
come.
I'll go with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
they're all coming.
Nice. Yeah, you go up the other door. It opens up. It actually opens towards you. You're looking into a very small room, about 10 foot square. It is. The description of this room. This is a very small room. Yeah, it's 10 foot. There are on the walls of this room. So basically, it's a 10 foot square room. There's a door directly across from you, matching the one you came through or are about to go through. On the walls, there are sconces, but with torches in them, but not lit, of course. Or maybe it's not, of course. Maybe you would think they'd be lit, but they are not lit. But they are torches in those sconces. In fact, they look. Not only are they not lit, they look burned out, like old.
Okay.
Alyssa's definitely gonna go ahead and mess with one of the sconces, pull at it, and
Cool.
Oh.
All right, yeah. So you're gonna walk in there and grab one of the sconces, see if you can pull on it. What's everybody else doing?
I'm gonna stand by the door and while she's doing that to make sure this door doesn't shut on them while they're in that little room.
Okay.
There's another door in there, right? You said.
Yeah. Another one that seems like it probably opens out. So they're basically in this room, both the doors would open out.
Right.
Did you want to walk across and check that door, or you're staying where you are, Johannes?
Yeah. I'm gonna walk across and check that door.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So you go over there, and you open the door. As you're opening up the door, Awazi gets to the sconce and pulls on it. And when Awazi does that, the floor of this room flips open, and you both fall down.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, roll 2d6 to get better than a 7 to not break if you got anything glass on you, because you're falling about 20 feet.
Ah.
Yeah. Both of you, because you both fall down.
I got an 8.
Okay.
6 and a 2.
I got a 6 total. So one
Okay.
of my,
Yeah.
I have 2 vials of holy water left. Did they
All right.
both break? Or?
Well, you can, let's see. Chat, roll me a d6. 4 or better, they both break. There is a lot of doors. You always know. Exactly. Not a d5, a d6. We're not playing Dungeon Crawl Classics. There we go. 3. This is what I say. More than 4, they both break, right? So one of them breaks.
Okay.
Yeah, one smashes. You feel it shatter in your bag. But also, when you hit the ground, you felt like a... and you realize that there's kind of a tarry, goopy, and you can smell this almost like a oily smell that you've fallen into. This kind of maybe like 3 inches thick. And you see, this is all happening like pretty much all at once. You see this like flicker of light, and you see it up top too, like the torches, they kind of spark, and then they fall.
Uh-oh.
But they don't light up because they've been burned out, and they kind of just into this oily slickness that you're standing in. So you're basically covered in oil, right, in tar and oil, about 20 foot down in a
This was a
pit.
death trap.
Would have been, yeah, if it hadn't burned down. It's previously, yeah, you could tell from the top that there was some kind of magic that was trying to light the torches, but clearly they'd already burnt out, so there wasn't enough pitch and tar on the torches to light it. But you see your friends fall down into the darkness. And I guess Franklin probably runs up with the lantern, or maybe you took it from him and you could shine it on them. And they're quite tarred. They're not feathered, but they're tarred.
My robes are ruined. I can't meet Catherine Damus like this.
It's all part of the quest to do so.
Well, I'm gonna have to find some better robes in here now.
There
You
was
guys-
some tattered robes on those skeletons all back there.
You hear like a...
But we should climb out of the oil first.
Yeah, you hear this like clicking sound, and you
Probably.
look up and you see the... It's
Yeah.
very slowly
guys?
starting to close.
I'm
guy.
gonna start trying to climb up the wall.
Yeah, you're pretty. It's pretty slick.
I'm gonna have I'm gonna say, Carl, come switch places with me. Grab the polearm, try to haul these guys out. I'm just not strong enough to do that.
You
Yeah,
have a
well,
7 strength.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'll
I'll go
run over
hold the
there and do
door.
that.
And yeah, okay. And I'll go hold the door while he's.
Okay, yeah. So you run up and you switch. Okay, so let's see.
How far down of a drop was it?
About 20 foot. Yeah. So probably you're gonna have to do like a, hold the pole arm up. Yeah, you can probably do it. I mean, the pole arm's like 12 feet. You guys probably jump to it. We'll say you can do it with a little bit of strength. You guys are tall enough to do that. Yeah. The question is, so who's going first? The second person is going to have to make a save to see if they can get out fast enough. Who's going first? The cleric or the fighter?
I'm not very dexterous. How about you?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, you go first. I can figure my way out.
Okay, all right. Awasi will go first then.
All right, yeah.
With permission from Jonas.
Yeah, you can definitely get up if the first person definitely gets out. Second person's gonna have to make up before
like
the thing
give him the
closes,
boost.
which is it. Yeah, I'll give you the same deal. 2d6, beat a 7 to get out of there before this thing closes on you. It's like an action scene where you're gonna like roll out or not.
I'm not gonna make this one because I made the past 3 in a row. So.
Exactly.
Well, could Awasi use her shepherd's crook to like keep the doors from shutting? Like if she sticks it.
I mean, you can
Where
stick
the
it between the
trap
two
is?
doors that are shutting. Yeah, sure, but sure, you can do that. I'll give you. You're gonna do that, but you won't be able to do it. Yeah. We'll get.
I got a 5.
A 5. Okay. No, I was gonna give you a +1 because of the shepherd. So not sign up. So go ahead. So you didn't make it out. So you're climbing up the pole arm. So tell me how this thing closes on you and what's the results of the closing.
Oh no!
Oh.
No.
Oh, let's see. Okay. So, yeah, he had handed the pole arm to Carl, who was holding it and helping Awasi up, and the doors were going up. And he figured he was running short on time, but he would try to make it. And he starts trying to grab onto the sides, the two halves of the door as they close together, and he's just not quite fast enough.
Oh man. Yeah. It's like it pinches on your fingers and then like you fall back down and they just see your gauntlet stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hit the bottom again. You're gonna have to roll another 2d6 to see if anything on you breaks the glass. So.
Oh, okay.
Because you fell again. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I broke stuff.
Okay. Something glass, whatever you got.
He said stuff.
You don't have anything?
Something broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. In fact, I have 4 things of glass.
Yeah, so you could just pick one. It's fine.
Okay. It was a vial of holy water.
Okay, yeah, so another broken holy water down there. It's very holy down there. And of course, oil and water doesn't mix, so it's kind of, floating around in this. So you're in the dark, kind of covered in oily tar. Up top, you guys see the doors close, and you just see Johannes's gauntlets kind of stuck where his fingers were.
Awasi will use her shepherd's crook to reach in and like pull on that lantern on that sconce.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, you definitely can do that. Yeah, so you reach in with the crook and you yank the sconce down. How strong are you?
10.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, so you pull it, and when you do, it flips. And you see, of course, they've tipped down again, but of course there's no torches to light up, so the thing flips back open again, and you see your friend at the bottom, covered in oil, tar, holy water, and gloveless at this point. Your gloves
Gauntlet
fall
falls
down.
and slaps you in the face.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pick up my gauntlets and put them back on, and I'm just covered in oil now.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can climb.
Yeah,
Carlo
you
can
can,
help me
there's only
climb.
one of you. You don't have to roll. You can definitely get up there. There's only one. It was more of a timer thing than anything else. So yeah, you're able to, with just one of you and multiple people helping, you're able to climb back up into the, we'll call it the clean room. There's a very clean halfling smiling there with his lantern. He's got the lantern and he's like, "Oh, is that oil? Oh, is that oil?" He's got the lantern.
Stay away from the.
I'm sorry.
Can we wait for it to close back up and then I can retry the door? Because I didn't actually get to the door and open it, right?
Oh, actually, yeah, you have, right, exactly. You just started to open the door and it went down. So yeah, you can wait till it clicks back up, and then very carefully, and gingerly, you walk to the other side. And
I'm gonna hug the door as I do it. Like,
yeah, you open the door. That does not set off the trap, so it was definitely ensconces. And
okay.
You are looking into a room that it looks identical to the one that's on the other side as far as dimensions. So it's 20 by 30. The difference here is that directly across from you on the eastern wall, there is a door. It is closed. And on the southern wall, there is a fireplace. There is a fire burning in it. In front of the fireplace, there is a bearskin rug. And Burt Reynolds is... No, I'm just kidding. No, there's nobody there. It's not that kind of channel.
No.
Yeah, no, there's a bearskin rug. Nobody's on it.
Okay.
Do I think I could wear the bearskin rug as a robe?
I mean, you probably could.
do you-
It's going to get quite messy if you touch it, which will kill its value, probably, if you were trying to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
And do you want to
You are
get
quite
close to a fireplace with a fire in it when you're covered in oil? Not a good
probably
idea.
don't.
Yeah, so obviously this room has light because it's a fire burner.
Yeah. Could someone grab that rug for me? I can use it later to make myself a proper robe that I could meet Catherine Damus in.
I think the only thing you can clean up with is that sulfur water.
Well, it'll have to do for Catherine Damus.
You never know what we might find. I yell from the other side of the room.
Yeah, I mean, you could grab the bear rug. It looks like it's pretty large, but you could take it. It's like a full-on bear rug with like the head on it and everything, like classic bear rug. Obviously, it's kind of big, and you are also covered in oil, so if you pick it up, it's going to be kind of gross for you as well.
Yeah. Well, no one oily should touch the bearskin rug. That would defeat the purpose of what I want it for.
But somebody should, at very least, lift it up because there may be something underneath it too.
Yeah, I don't recall that I'm covered in any kind of oil or anything. So
Nope, you are perfectly clean at this point, Carl.
let's see if I have something. Rope, iron spike, sword. I just take the tip of my sword and just stick it underneath the bearskin rug and lift it that way and try and like flip it, see if there's anything underneath it.
Yeah, you do that. You think you're not sure. You think you hear somebody say "ouch" when you do that. However, when you flip the rug up, there's nothing underneath it that you can see. You kind of flip it over itself, but you think you hear like "ouch."
So I kind of freeze for a moment, and I'm just like cock my head to one side, and then I take my sword, and not hard, but I'm just gonna go like think.
Ah! What are you doing?
I look directly at the our wizard Valera, and I go.
She's pretty far away unless she's willing to leave that door.
Oh.
She's basically in another room. She's across another room, actually.
Oh, shit.
I'll leave the door. I'll come see what people are doing.
I call her over.
Okay. You're going to leave the door and walk into the clean room and across the...
Well, Awasi, knowing that Vel will be good here, she will go and she'll say, "I'll watch the door now, Vel. I don't want to touch the bearskin rug in there anyway. I'm covered in oil."
All right, so you're going to go back to the door and hold it?
Okay. Just cut the door down. We did last time. As soon as Valera comes in there, I say, "This is a bearskin rug, and then while I'm looking at her, I just take the tip of my sword and I go, doink again.
Yeah, you actually you hear, "Whoa, come on."
I'm gonna get down on my hands and knees, and I'm gonna look at the bear right in the face, and I'll say, "Are you talking?"
It kind of squints at you.
You are talking.
Well, you would talk too if somebody's poking you with a sword for no reason. What's up with this guy?
It's not every day that we see a living dead bear.
Rug thing.
Yeah.
You say
How are
I would talk if someone were poking me with a sword, but not if I was flat and made into a decoration.
Are you sure about that? Have you ever experienced that?
I guess we can't say with 100% surety.
This is true. This is true.
And she's like looking.
Mm-hmm.
The bear itself was squinting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the bear is squinting. You can hear it talking, but the mouth is just moving like very like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This bear seems very wise.
I'm gonna.
How long have you
Valera.
been here?
What time is it?
Late is the hour.
Franco, where is that clock?
Ah,
There's no sun. It needs the sun. We have no sun. It's late. I don't know what time it is anymore. It's still daylight outside, though.
oh, well, probably a few thousand years.
Oh,
Well, and with that, I'm going to pat Valera on the shoulder and I'm going to say, well, good luck with this one. And I'm going to stand up and just kind of stand over behind her with my arms crossed in a guardianship position because it's like, yeah, I got nothing at this point because I'm.
I will. I'm gonna
Fighter.
crouch down and to ask it some questions.
Yeah, with me
okay.
and Johanna questioning the bear rug.
Are you capable of moving, like
You have to wear me,
walking? Oh,
but not you. You're dirty.
yeah.
out the hallway. Stand by for like out the hallway. Crystal, roll me a d6, and let me know if you get a 1 or 2. So yeah, he says you're dirty. No.
4.
Okay, you are not surprised. You hear footsteps coming down the corridor from the archway side, so further west. Let's see how far away they are. Okay, they're only 60 feet away. So I'm going to say you can hear them. You kind of, because of the way that's only 30 feet away. You can hear them coming from that southern passageway that's after the archway, and you know they're pretty close.
All of us hear it, or is it just Oasi?
No, I'm going to say just Awasi, because you guys are pretty far away and talking to a bear.
Awasi is gonna like try to project her voice towards that doorway and be like, "Boots are coming."
Just boots? Just shrugs? Now we have just boots? We have...
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
What is with this place?
Okay, yeah, you're like, boots are coming, and then as you do that, you hear those footsteps stop. And then you hear a language, which you may or may not speak. Let me check. Oh no, you don't speak very many languages at all. You hear a language that you do not understand. It's kind of like, and then you hear some weapons being assembled, and you think that whatever's there's several of them, and they seem to be preparing to charge around the corner towards the voice that just done. But for you guys, you hear Awasi say something about the boots.
So I immediately crouch back down next to Valera and look at the bear and I say, "You've been here for about 1,000 years. Do you want to get out? Get to a more
Absolutely.
lively place?" Oh, okay.
Huh?
Put him on.
We will
Put him
free
on,
this bear.
Carl.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to reach and grab the bear rug and I'm going to
Yes.
stand up and I'm going to whip it around and put it on me so that the bear's head is on top of my head and his arms are on these. And I'm going to just look at the bear and I say, whatever these creatures are, when they come in here, I'm going to yell at them and then you yell at them. And then I'll yell at them and then you yell at them. We can do this, bear.
Alright, so you put the bear on.
Yes.
Alright, so the bear is going to give you the next level up armor. For
I'll
now.
put you in the fanciest tavern I can find when we get out of here.
And so you will defend as, what do you defend as now? Heavy? You're going to defend as armored foot with the bear, because it's basically magical.
Armored foot. Sweet. This is going to be awesome.
Yep, so you will now defend as armored foot. Yeah, as you throw the bear on. There'll be other bear abilities as well. But let's jump to the hallway.
This bear
Crystal.
might become an adventurer.
If Awasi hears that they're about to charge around the corner in a strange language she doesn't know, she's going to cast Protection from Evil.
Okay, perfect. So you cast magic. All right, so somebody in the chat roll me a d6 for initiative because they're going to charge around the corner. Let's see if you get your spell off before they... I guess you automatically will because they're going to... Because the way the system works. Okay, they got a 2. Roll initiative there, Awasi.
1.
1. Okay, they're gonna go first. So you hear okay, chat, you guys get to go first. So you hear booted feet start to charge around the corner, and you see chat roll me a d8. Cause I don't know how many.
Are they individual boots or are they pairs of boots?
Oh no, they are being worn by 1. Okay, can't be 1, so it's gotta be at least 2. All right, so 2, because I said there was multiple. 2 orcs come charging around the corner, and they see, of course, a lone cleric standing there. But you are, as they approach you, you cast your spell of protection from evil, which actually works out really well for you because we know that makes them fight as 1 hit die less, right? Which means they literally cannot attack; they cannot hurt you. So they come charging at you, and it's like they're just repelled. Like they go to swing, and they're just like they feel the power of Hastor repelling them. And they're like, whoa!
I take my sheep and I'm like, bad orcs, bad!
Okay, yes, you hear, so I think somebody speaks orc. Definitely the elf does.
I do. I do.
Yeah, so anybody who speaks orcish, you hear them charge, kill them, and then, what is this? What is this? It's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, I want to run out there and yell to the orcs in orcish.
Okay.
I don't have the time to think about what to say, so I'm just kind of like, stop, and like, where are you from?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, so basically,
He doesn't really think.
Where are you
Yeah.
from?
so you're gonna
He's
charge
not
forward.
thinking straight. He's just like, oh my god, stop. Where are you from?
So, are you greenskins from around here?
All right. So what's everybody else doing? So Jonas is running towards the door.
Carl is coming out there with the bear on, and as soon as he rounds the corner where they can see him, he's gonna say, "That's your cue, bear. Get him!" And hopefully, I was like, yell at him, bear, yell at him. Trying to do the ventriloquist thing. I'm trying to get the bear to roar at them.
And I'll run out and say in Orcish, it doesn't matter where you're from. Just go back wherever that is.
There we go.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That feels good. So you charge up. Who are you? Where are you from? They can't touch the cleric because of the magic power. You say, "Get him, bear." You transform into a bear.
Oh
And,
shit!
Go ahead and you're going to attack. Hold on. I gotta
This is better than I ever planned.
Turn into bears. Now I got to look up the stats.
All you hear is, "What the hell is happening?"
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's armored foot. So you attack as armored foot against them. They are defending as heavy foot.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, they're probably gonna scoot after this, but you're gonna get an
Me
attack.
and Bear are
going to
be best friends.
Carl
Alright, so-
is unbearable.
Shut up!
All right, so you got 1 die per man, 5 or 6 hits. So you're gonna roll 2 dice. You can add 1 to one of those 2 dice, and if you get a 5 or a 6, that's a hit. Well, they only have 1 hit die each, so each one will kill.
This is for me.
Yep, that's you. Go ahead, make your attack.
All right.
The other day, about
Two dice. 2 dice and add 1, right?
Yeah, you roll 2 dice separately. Any 5s or 6s will be a kill, but you can add 1 to one of the dice. So if you got like a 4, you can pick a 5. Yeah.
Well, I got a 5 and a 2.
Okay, so that's only enough to kill 1. So you charge forward as a bear and you wipe down one of them.
I just hand swipe him.
Yeah, it drops, and obviously the other one, there's no way in hell. I mean, it's hearing go back to where you came, and one of his friends got killed by a bear. So yeah, this orc runs to the south.
Oh, okay, great. I say to the group, I believe that's where we want to go. Well, that's where I want to go.
After the orc?
Yes. I heard that orcs were hiding some valuable treasure here.
Might be powerful. I'm willing to do that. Good
Is
bear.
that the direction that they came from? That they approached from?
Yeah, if you go,
awesome.
Basically, if you go to the west, where those archways, there's a series of. It's basically a little intersection that would basically allow you to keep going west or to go south. So you're looking at a 3-way, basically a T. They went to the south. So if you go through those archways into the south, turn that corner to where they apparently went, or he went. There was only one. There is a door on the right hand side, so the west side. But to the south, there's another door, and that door is open, and you can see beyond there are stairs. So you would guess that very likely the orc went that way. And actually, it's 9 o'clock, so that's probably a good place to leave it as we follow the orc into the depths of the palace of the Silver Princess. Somehow we've turned into a bear, and we're quite oily, but thanks everybody. So unlike what we've been doing in the past, this is going to be a continuous thing. This adventure could be multiple sessions. We're going to come back in about a month to finish it up. Thanks everybody for watching and doing things that you do. Thanks everybody. Any final words from the players about life in general?
Well, my final words are going to be, at this point, Carl doesn't care if he finds any other piece of treasure in this dungeon. He is now going to be best friends with a bear rug. And two, thank you guys to everybody in the chat who was throwing down some dice and helping us do this. It was much fun. So thank you guys for being an interactive part. We really appreciate it.
There we go.
If you're not already,
definitely.
make sure you follow.
All right. Yeah, if you're not already following. Yeah, this is a really fun adventure, guys. And by the way, I will point out that I think I mentioned it, but at the beginning, this is the module here. You can actually, if you look it up, do a little Google, Palaces of the Princess Orange. This is a free adventure now because WotC or Wizards of the Coast released it. Not the players, but if you want to download this and see what the adventure is like by reading it, go for it because it's free. But no, anyways, thanks everybody for watching. If I can remember how to do this, we will be gone.